I just had to let Evil Doug with the meme me going on over there.
There you go.
Hello everyone. How are we today? Welcome on in to Chatting with Doug, in which you get to ask Doug the questions that you've always wanted to have answers to. You can see today, chat, I have a special guest. I'm currently dog sitting my uncle's dog, Mac. So,
Aw.
Mac, come here. Show people your face. You
All
want
right,
to show people your face?
let's see if we'll
No?
scare Chaplin.
Okay.
All right, you two, fight, fight.
Mac does not
Fight,
even
fight, fight, fight,
notice
fight.
Chaplin right
All
now.
right.
But Mac is also black and white, actually. He's all black with a little bit of a white on his chest.
So they'll look at each other and see all the colors, which is kind of true because white is all the colors.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, hey everyone, welcome on in. Hope you're having a good day. I see we have questions already lining up. Y'all are amazing. So we're gonna get to the rules so that we can start answering your questions here. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and the super chats. We are dual streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, since that is some real world money spent towards the end of the streams. Sometimes we might have time for highlighted questions on Twitch or regular chat questions on YouTube, but save your highlighting, especially on Twitch, until the end of stream, because we won't be able to scroll back up and see it. Same with questions on YouTube. But along that same lines, please don't repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to do it. Oh, Snowcone Guy, yes, we will read subscription messages. Yes, subscription messages will also be read. Thank you for specifically asking about that. Do not repeat yourself is what I was saying. Don't spam the chat. That does also include just spamming random things or whatever. If a mod tells you to cut it out, then cut it out, okay? On both sides, YouTube or Twitch. Just don't do it. Cut it out. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is that we're going to lose the point, and I do not have time to repeat it. So short and to the point is better. If you absolutely must send a multiple part message, keep it to 3 maximum. Absolute maximum 3. Same thing happens. We just tend to lose the point, and then there's no time for us to go back and figure out what the heck you were talking about on part 5, and now we're on part 8 kind of a thing. So just keep it to 3, all right? Also, please keep it 1 question per bit message or per super chat. Sometimes people say, hey, I have a question, and then ask 7 questions. If you do ask like more than 1, I reserve the right to only ask the 1. And that's it. You know, I'll choose 1 and read it, and that's that, okay? With YouTube, you do not have to repeat your super chat. I know sometimes this is a little weird or unusual, but even if your super chat unpins from the top, you do not have to give more money for your super chat to be read. I have a list, and it's very, very rare that we actually miss one of the super chats or bits. Just have some patience because we do get behind sometimes up to like an hour, so just have some patience. We will get to it. With the super chats too, we are prioritizing super chats that are $5 and over, again, just because we get such a large volume of questions that we're going to prioritize that. If we have time, we can go back and read some of the smaller, like $4 to $1 super chats, because I do actually want to get to some of the chat questions. We want to actually get to some that don't have to be paid, okay? That's part of why it's like we're setting it at 5, because want to be able to get to those questions that don't require you to pay to answer them or to get them answered. Please no spoilers. I know it feels like it's been out forever, but not everyone has had a chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine yet, okay? So no spoilers yet for Deadpool and Wolverine. I know some of you are chomping at the bit for spoilers about that, but not quite yet. Have some patience. We'll get there soon, okay? I think that's it.
Think we're good. Think we got him.
Yeah, that's it. A special reminder to Doug to not swear.
Yes, thank you. I had to remind myself before beginning this. I was just like, wait, don't swear.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, let's get started with this. Optinate, thank you for the $5 super chat. I watched the first 2 Alien movies for the first time in preparation for Romulus. I loved them both.
Oh yeah, they're classics, man. Very intense. Yeah, I don't know if there's any good ones after. I have a little bit of a soft spot for Alien versus Predator. It's not good, but I think that last third is actually, I think it's pretty solid. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, really, Alien and Aliens is the only are the only good ones. So it'll be interesting to see how the new one is.
89 Sigma, thank you for the $5 super chat. Mr. Walker, I have a confession. I actually saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull the day before my high school graduation, and I used my back credit card.
Ah! How dare you?
Amazing.
Especially for Indiana Jones. How random.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Disney's D23 announcements?
I was frozen
I mean,
today.
you know, honestly, a lot of them are about the same as what they announced before. A lot of sequels, a lot of reboots and stuff. Clearly too many, but you know, there's one or two I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing another Zootopia. I liked the second Inside Out, so you know, I'm not against that. I mean, yeah, we already know that was good, and that I like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'll say this for maybe oh, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, sorry. My Twitch it froze.
Oh.
Maybe somebody will ask this later, but I actually thought the Mufasa trailer was looking okay. I know I'm probably wrong because there haven't been any really good ones yet, but it definitely looks better than the first one. At the very least, I think we can guarantee it's going to be better than the first one. And I guess Incredibles 3 I'm kind of excited for because I like the first two. But yeah, there's nothing else really like, ooh, you know, like super hyped about. But we'll see. You know, sometimes I can be wrong.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm personally rather underwhelmed by D23 so far. Even looking at that one new film they announced, Hoppers, I was like, it's Avatar, mostly the same plot.
I missed that one. I'd have to check it out. Yeah, because I think it was just bombarded by so many sequels. I guess I'll try to check it out. But at the same time, I don't know. It's good for jokes. Like, you know, we literally, the NC was just shot. We make a whole bunch of jokes about all the sequels they're doing. But I usually like to be a little surprised about what's coming next. You know, there's the one kind of downside. All these big announcements and everything is like, oh, okay, so the next few years we just know what's coming. But they still have stuff on like Disney Plus and you know, other studios like Fox and everything they can release. So we'll see.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 favorite Cary Grant performances.
Ah, geez. Trying to think if I even seen that made. The more I think about them, if I've even seen them make Cary Grant movies. I mean, what? Bring Up Baby, North by Northwest. Was it? No, he wasn't Manu Too Little or Too Much. Oh my God, no! I know I must have seen more than two. Okay, let me look these up because it's like I know I've seen several Cary Grant movies, but I am totally blanking on them. Maybe we can go into the
Next one?
yeah, while I look it up.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm a bit concerned about Elio. It was announced that they changed directors, and whatever changes they are making required one of the actresses to be replaced. Now, changes like this have happened with Pixar movies before, but not after a teaser trailer.
It can go either way on it. You know, if I want to make jokes, I could point to like Brave and you know Last Dinosaur and or what was it, the dinosaur one? I'm already forgetting what's called. The Good Dinosaur, that was it. But yeah, and they usually haven't worked out. But especially with Disney, like that kind of stuff happens all the time. It doesn't necessarily declare if it's going to be good or bad, but yeah, it's not not always the best sign. Charade, that's the other one. I was like, I knew there was one I was forgetting, and that one's a lot of fun. And I feel like I'm missing like, oh, and To Catch a Thief, that's the other Hitchcock. Okay, so there you go. There's a couple. I never did see An Affair to Remember. I should check that out. I know it's like a classic romance.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What did you think of the South Park pandemic special?
I remember being pretty funny. Yeah, you know, it's funny because they've had several specials come out. I haven't seen all of them, but if I remember correctly, what happens in there was that's the one that like jumps to the future and everything. I thought it was really funny.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the Bogart film In a Lonely Place?
I don't think I even heard of that one. In a Lonely Place. Let me just see if that's ringing a bell here. Okay. I don't know this one. I'll have to check it out.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, I saw that Jason Reitman is making a Saturday Night Live biopic. Knowing that you're a connoisseur of comedy, you must be somewhat interested.
I am. So I like Jason Reitman, but my favorite film of his is Thank You for Smoking. I like the ones that
That's a
really
good one.
embrace that edge and but are really smart too. And seeing how that's what SNL kind of started out as, I'm hoping he kind of brings that style back with that movie. And I know it's going to be mean to say because I guess some people have gotten really upset about it, but I kind of like they're showing how really aggressively mean they were to Jim Henson because they were really, really mean to him. And he was kind of the punching bag. And I mean, look, we all love the original cast of SNL and stuff, but they could be, a little snobby and stuff. And I think that, no, well, what are these puppets doing here? We're above this. And say, I mean, and it's Jim had a household name now. So I like that they're showing that. And it does show there's a little bit of a harshness to the movie. So I'm hoping it's good. I thought it was a good trailer. And I think it could be a good film.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Amphibia finale, what do you think of the scene where Anne and Sprig say goodbye?
It was good. How do I put it? Perfectly fine. Exactly what you would expect, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess what happens to her, is a little surprising in some respects. But it was about what I thought. It was emotional in just the right way, like the thing you would hope would happen, happens.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Doug and Heather. It's always nice to see you guys.
Back at you. Thank you so much.
Hello. Low Expectations, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm happy to say I finally married my girlfriend of 9.5 years. Congratulations!
Congrats! That's so cool! Oh my God. Oh,
and we went to the Deadpool and Wolverine opening showtime after the ceremony. Trust me, that was the perfect rom-com to celebrate our special day.
Well, I mean, you know what you love, man. I mean, that's meant to be. If both of you were like, yes, this is what I want to do, then it's probably meant to be.
89 Sigma, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. I think they gave the same message again because they accidentally gave the first one before the stream started, but I'll just read it again because $10, thank you. Mr. Walker, I have a confession. I actually saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull the day before my high school graduation. I think it's the third best, and I used my bad credit card.
Yeah, I didn't hate it as much as everyone else, but yeah, I don't know. I wasn't betrayed when I first saw it, but I will say I'm rewatching it, so I don't get as into it.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Here's a tough one for you. Which is better, Shrek 2 or Toy Story 2?
I guess a Toy Story 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think Shrek 2 I would probably want to watch more, but Toy Story 2 I think is a better movie, especially just being their third film, Pixar's third film, I thought, and a follow-up to something that's already won an Oscar and everything. I mean, that was, I thought it was very, very well done.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Remember the good old days when you can say the F word on YouTube and they wouldn't care? Also, what's your ranking of the Indiana Jones films?
F yeah. And probably
today.
I do like Last Crusade a little better. I don't know if it's I do like it better. Last Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom. Yeah, I think probably Crystal Skull and then Dial of Destiny. For different reasons, like Crystal Skull kind of offends worse, but Dial of Destiny is just so boring. And Indiana Jones should never be boring. So yeah, I'll probably go with that.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Improvise. Doug, you are taking out a bunch of, I think I can say, Nazis on YouTube by sneaking up on them one by one and playing a game of Punchaboo.
Seek this.
Got him. Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ever thought about being a dad one day?
I've thought about it before.
He is a father to Chaplin and Buster. Thank you very much.
My cute little kitty babies right here. But probably not. I get stressed out pretty easily about that stuff, and I think kitties are enough. I always say I love children, but the thing I love most about them is I get to hand them back to someone else. You know what I mean? They go away to someone else.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of your opinions in movies, games, and shows that have changed over time?
Um, just in general, shows and
Just some
movies
of
that
your
changed.
opinions, yeah, about those things.
I mean, like anything, some can improve with age, some can get worse. Some stay the same. It's interesting. It's always interesting when you grow up with something, even your own work, and you think, well, this always has to stay the same, and this, has to change over time, and you kind of find out the things that should and shouldn't, and a lot of that does have to do with your environment, what changes in your environment. There's a lot of stuff I thought I would never change about what I do, but the world changed and keeps changing and life keeps changing. So you have to kind of play with it. I don't think it's something where there's always one thing with every series or one particular series where it always has to be this way, even though there are some, but I think you always have to kind of play it a little bit by ear by what your environment is giving you and life is giving you and your audience is giving you.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $5 super chat. Apparently, Pete Docter agrees with you that Inside Out 2 is the best Pixar film. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, I still don't know if I like it more than the first one. I keep going back and forth. I just can't decide. It's so weird. Usually I can, decide pretty quickly with that stuff, but I'm still fighting my head. That's a good problem to have, though. Which one is better?
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fanscription idea. What if Henry Jones became the new Indiana Jones in Dial of Destiny? And what if Short Round was his partner in it?
How specific? I mean, we're talking like his dad, right? I don't know how. I mean, I feel like Indiana Jones is old enough, so I don't know. It would be cool to bring that actor back in that role. That would be kind of neat. But so maybe there's something there. I don't know about Henry Jones being the new Indiana Jones, though.
I know, guys. Thank you for that 6-month membership over on YouTube. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Were you able to check out If or Twisters? If so, thoughts?
No, not yet. It'll be a while. I will say I've heard so many good things about Twisters that I am a little curious. I should probably see it on the big screen, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to. I think movies are in the theaters for a smaller amount of time, but I might be able to. We'll see. But at the very least, I'll definitely check them out when they come to streaming.
Wadsworth, thank you for that 29-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. They just say, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
John, thank you for the $10 super chat. 1, to make a pun, have either of you watched the 2009 Watchmen movie by Zack Snyder? And have you ever read the comic book it was based on? If so, thoughts on both?
I like them both. I mean, I think it goes without saying that the comic's better, but I thought the movie was fine for... it is one of those things I know the complaints people have, and I do kind of make the argument, yeah, and it's so rare that I say this, but, for the time period, and like what the way people were looking at comic book movies at the time, it's kind of amazing we did get what we got at that time. But I do see the issues with it. The movie's not great, but I'm still pretty impressed by it. How do you give that comic book such a visual identity outside of, like what they're doing with the MCU now, where they just have like the costumes and stuff? And that really did have not just a visual identity, but almost like a visual language to it. I think Snyder, when he's at his best, does that very, very well.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen any reaction videos on your work?
Oh, yeah. Somebody just did 24 hours of it, if you can believe it.
Yeah, and actually Renegade Reacts just talked in chat. What's up, hey?
Oh, hey. Well, there you go. Cross promote, I guess. Yeah. No, they literally just did a 24-hour of it, which hats off to you, man. I couldn't take me for 24 hours. I gotta wake up to this face and this voice, man. So yeah, I mean, even I need a break from it. So yeah, congrats to you. I hope you still like me. I would hate me after watching me for 24 hours, but I do watch those because I feel like they don't just watch it. They do pause and give their reactions, their thoughts, and stuff like that. And they'll be honest about stuff. They'll be honest about what they think works and it doesn't work and stuff like that. And I do value that. And I like that too because a lot of entertainers that make shows and movies and stuff, they can screen it with audiences. They can have test audiences and stuff. And I can't. I really don't have that. So it's nice to see a live reaction to something and see what gets laughs and what doesn't. So yeah, it's really cool to see. I've seen a few others too, but those are the ones I've probably seen the most.
Jimmy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Would you reconsider watching the 2012 Ninja Turtle show? I know you said the animation turned you off, but you also said that about Clone Wars, and that turned out great.
I believe everybody when they say it's really good. I have
I
the
was
first
frozen
season on
today.
DVD. Someone years ago gave it to me on DVD, and at some point I'll sit down and watch it. I don't know when. It's another one of those where I think I kind of have like a retirement collection where it's just all
Yeah.
these shows that I want to watch, and I know I'm probably won't be able to until I stop doing this for a living. So I mean, it's like Dragon Ball and One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and the Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon show. So yeah, they're all shows I want to watch. I don't know I'm gonna get around to them. It probably will be after I stop doing this.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Last week, when I recommended Until Dawn, I forgot to mention that an upgraded version for the PS5 is releasing October 4th. Should maybe wait for that.
Maybe. I did write it down as a possible game, so I'll keep that in mind.
Jake, thank you for the $5 super chat. NC for either Bambi or The Fox and the Hound.
I gotta see Fox and the Hound again because I like that movie. I didn't love it, and I know a lot of people that love it. And I will say this: the reason everybody loves it is because of the ending, and I do love the ending. It's very, very well done. Again, we're talking about visual language. I mean, that just very much you don't have to say much in that last bit. I thought that was very well handled. But I did a Disney
I was
December,
frozen
and
today.
I kind of got out my thoughts there. Bambi's always one of those movies where it's a brilliant film. It's one of Disney's best. I don't watch it that much, and it is a great movie where the backgrounds do a lot of the talking. But my thought is always, well, if I want a movie that does that, I should just put on Fantasia. Like that's the complete package kind of thing. Because Bambi does have a lot of cutesy moments where it's needed, it's good, but it's not my favorite to watch. So I don't know if I'll do an NC on it. Maybe Fox and the Hound. Maybe there is something there to that. I might even write that one down.
Elite Gamer, thank you for the 24-month subscription over on Twitch. We really appreciate it. Welcome back. Hello, Heather and Old Man Walker. I just wanted to say an enormous thank you for all the amazing work you all have put in throughout these crazy past 2 years, and that you guys never cease to make me laugh. I shall always appreciate that. Thanks again. And oh, Doug, I may or may not have used my back credit card with free sub.
But thank you so much. After I punch you. That's very kind of you to say.
I know, guys. Thank you so much for that 52-month subscription over on
Thank
Twitch.
you.
Welcome back. Appreciate that. Thank you. Mahana Longwalker, thank you for that 14-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. It's been an awesome time. Well, great. It's only awesome because you're here. No.
True. It is true.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen The Covenant 2006? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Maybe let me double check if no, I'm confusing with the right. Hold on, the Covenant
Covenant
2006. Let me see. It sounds familiar.
You sound familiar.
Did I? I don't think I did. I heard it was pretty generic, so I never checked it out. Yeah.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $5 super chat. Where would you put Moulin Rouge now on your least favorite films list now that you have seen films that do its tropes far worse?
Man, I'm trying to think because a long time ago, I think after whatever the first 4 years, I did the worst Nostalgia Critic movies, like worst movies I've ever watched and stuff like that for the show. And that'd be a lot lower. Honestly, Moulin Rouge at least has again a very cool visual style, and some of the songs are really good and everything. I've seen a lot more movies. I mean, what, like 16 years more or 13 years more? Or, I can't math right now. No, not even close. Like 14, I think. It doesn't matter. A lot more years, over 10.
A lot more years
of worst movies. I'm sorry, my brain is totally fried. But yes, I don't even think it would. I know it wouldn't crack the top 10. It'd probably be like lower top 20, if even that.
Low expectations. Oh, I just read that. I'm sorry. Ben, thank you for the $10 super chat. Incredibles 3 was just announced at D23 a few days ago with Brad Bird returning to direct. No release date has been announced. What are your thoughts?
Sure. I mean, I like the first two. I guess there's a lot of people that really didn't like the second one, which kind of surprised me. That I thought it was good. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but I thought it was good. Maybe there really is an audience out there that just really wanted to see them grow up, or at the very least, if they're gonna wait that long, grow them up. But I see both. I think it'd be cool if you grew them up at the same time. I see the value in keeping them young. Like that's the shtick is that you want to see more of them as a family, a superhero family with like kids and stuff like that. So I'm open to it. I'm not like demanding it, but it'd be nice to have more than two.
Gorilla Steve, thank you for the $2 super chat. Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What impact do you think online reviews and media influencers have had on film culture? It's a good question.
It is a good question. I it's hard to say. I guess I can say I've interacted with a lot of people who have made, the movies I review or the shows I review and stuff like that. And that's always really nice that they can reach out. You can even reach out to them and you can talk to them. I mean, some I even put in my show. I mean, some people just reach out from, behind the scenes will just say, "Hey, thank you for bringing this up. I really like your review," so on and so forth. So that's really neat because I don't know how often that happens with like, whatever, just print critics and stuff like that. I think the fact that it is online and there is, practically that open door to them does make a difference. In terms of like a fan reaction and stuff like that, for better or worse, I mean, we've seen big changes come from, fans complaining about like, the Sonic design, or something like that. Or changing the Ninja Turtles from aliens back to turtles, in those movies. So, but I'd be shocked if that didn't have a negative effect at some point too, because they're too afraid of like online backlash. So, I don't know. It definitely has had an effect. Hopefully more for the positive, but I'm sure for the negative too.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Question for both Heather and Doug. If you could watch any movie at all right now, what would it be and why?
I always like watching Brazil. That's my favorite movie because I can put it on at any time. It has great comedy. It has great visuals. It has great horror elements and dramatic elements. There's always something I miss every single time I see it. So, yeah, probably that. How about you, Heather?
I would probably choose Mean Girls right now just because I'm recovering from COVID still. And like, that's just like a nice little comfort film for me to just sit down and watch Mean Girls, like cuddle up on the couch and just laugh at Mean Girls.
Makes sense.
The original one with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
I do like the 2020 one though, too. Low expectations. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Here's a brain test. What is a movie that is so good it's bad? Oh no. Okay. I feel like we've had this question before. Let me try this to make sure this makes sense. What is a movie that is so good it's bad that it becomes so bad it's good? My personal pick is Greatest Showman for reasons that you're probably already thinking of.
It starts off with it's so good it's bad, and then it becomes so bad it's good. Is that how it works?
It's so good it's bad, then it becomes so bad it's good.
Maybe the one I usually go to, and I think because I did a video on this, maybe The Crucible, because it's not a bad movie. Everything's done exactly how it should be done, but something doesn't work because of that. And it's really bizarre. And I feel like I've watched that movie. I have watched a lot of reviews of it too. And people either say, yeah, this is great, or they're like, something's missing, something's off. And it's hard to say what it is. It's going to sound weird. Maybe it needed just a little bit of humor to make it feel a little bit more real because it's just so heavy. That's the only one I can think. I'm sure there's others. It is an odd question, but in a weird way, I know what you're talking about. That's the closest I can think of.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are there any films you regret reviewing or wish you could redo?
Oh, sure. And not a ton though, I will say, because how do I put? Whenever here's the thing I like about that, it's that they're my videos. I write them, I direct them, I edit them, all that stuff. Is that when a mistake gets made, it's my fault. I can point to me and say, "Hey, don't do that again. And I say, okay. And I don't do it again. I really like that. But I also like when, again, sometimes when I am getting backlash on something, I'm saying, no, this feels right. And I disagree with what people are saying about it. I can say, stick to your guns, stick to what you think is right. And sometimes it does turn out okay. There's review, like the review of It when I first did that. People hated, how could you make fun of this classic? Stephen King has done no wrong. And now, like, everybody makes fun of it. It's like one of the most watched reviews. But there's also been reviews I've done where it came out. It was, at the time was great, and now it's not so great. Or even some that have come out and just got ripped apart, and people still don't like it. So I have control over that, but I also like that I can learn from my lessons. Or my mistakes. I hear something didn't go over well. Here's why, and I can listen honestly, take myself out of the equation, and say, okay, are they right? Does this not work? And it's a tough pill to swallow, but sometimes you do go, yeah, I think they're right. I think they called me out on this and they're correct. So as much as that's not fun, at least I can still have control over it. Where I'm like a studio or something, they can change whatever they want to it and you have no say. So I still like that control, even when I make big blunders.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. With all the BS Disney live action remakes, why is the 101 Dalmatians from 1996 not getting recognition? Cruella's character is fleshed out with a legit reason to make a fur coat and the animals don't talk.
I like that one fine. I'm not gonna say it's great, but I guess compared to the other ones, it's kind of great. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I never did see the sequel. I always put that on Disney December. See 102 Dalmatian. I never get around to it. I don't even know if it has good reputation or not. But yeah, I thought it was okay.
John, thank you for the $10 super chat. What would be a thing on your bucket list that you're wanting to do but realize you're not going to be able to do?
I always thought I wanted to go skydiving. And then I kind of realized, I mean, two things now. One, I do still have the fatigue. It's a lot better. It's been getting a lot better. But on top of that, I do technically have asthma, and it doesn't really affect me much. But under extreme circumstances, it can. And that's one of those where I'm just like, I get the feeling it might. So it's probably not worth it. But it'd be cool just to fall.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Hello, Dougie Anna Jones and the Heather of Destiny. How are you guys? What did you think of Pixar announcing an original film called Hoppers? I gotta admit, the premise is bizarre, but some of Pixar's best movies are, so I'm optimistic.
I heard the title. I didn't hear what it was about.
Me neither.
Which is surprising, seeing how somebody says like the only one new original thing coming out. We say that, but I mean, I'm sure they're gonna have other like live action movies and stuff like that. There's a lot of movies they have out that kind of go under the radar, so I'm sure there'll be some stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to really look at that much. I guess I'll try to and get back to you on that.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. Untitled review show for Trap.
I'll up you. I'll do a nostalgia critic on it because we literally just saw it. Oh, is it terrible? It's wonderfully terrible. We had a pretty good time with how bad it was, so there'll definitely be an NC on that.
Super Droid, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. What's your opinion on the first Grease movie? It's seen as a classic and was praised by critics, but it's despised by internet critics. I loved the movie at first, but now I can't stand it due to the overexposure of it and the unlikable nature of most of the characters. I still like most of the songs, though.
This is one where I have to kind of split myself into two halves. Just as a critic, just someone looking at something objectively, it's fine. It's nothing great, but the songs are catchy. It's kind of a fun little, a corny, campy, send up to, that time period and everything. On a personal level, though, hate it. I can't stand it. But I don't get into that time period. I don't get into Happy Days or like the greaser, hair and the motorcycle jackets, all that stuff. It's just not my thing, but I get people who do, and people that do are gonna obviously love that movie. So I totally understand it, but it's not my thing. It's just annoying to me.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you so much for finally reviewing Disaster Movie. That film was for me what Garbage Pail Kids was for you. It felt like it was an open insult to humanity and the art of cinema.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing how far they could push that gimmick to, well, how much do we have to have a connection to anything? And I guess in a weird way, we're talking about movies that could be so bad they become good, and then so good they become bad kind of thing. It is interesting. That film is so bad it doesn't quite become good, because I am thinking like this is so random and so great. Like this should accidentally make me laugh. You know what I mean? Like in a different way they're not intending, and it doesn't. It's just bad.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of the hardest reviews that you had trouble writing?
Anything that's boring is really tough. We just assumed Junior, the movie where Schwarzenegger gets pregnant, would be really easy. And the jokes will write themselves. But apart from the scene where, he has the dream sequence, which that worked great, we had nothing. So we just, again, we experimented. We're like, let's have me fall asleep and we have a dream sequence singing about how boring it is. And again, I like experimenting. I like trying something new, but that's one of the things where we saw the comments and they're like, this isn't working. And we're like, you're right. We know it. We won't do it again.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite Super Bowl halftime show performance?
Prince was pretty great. What's some other ones? I'm trying to go back now. Oh, what was it, Lopez that one year? That was surprisingly pretty good. Jennifer Lopez. And then Beyonce had one that was pretty good.
Heck yeah, she did.
Yeah. So those are coming to mind.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know you said you weren't a big fan of Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage, but do you think you might do an NC review on it one day?
I don't think I have enough to say about it. Like I could say a little bit, certainly. But I don't have a passion to talk about it, and I don't know how many people would really click on it either. If they see me doing a Cage movie, they want me to do a Cage movie, or it's going crazy, that kind of thing. So probably not.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. From your old versus new format, what would you say is the standard for good modern remakes?
I mean, I'm assuming they're talking about not just in terms of what's a movie that's a good modern remake. They're just talking about like what's the thing that
the standard.
Gotcha. I guess. I mean, there isn't exactly one, which I kind of like. It allows you to experiment a little bit. The closest I can come to is that there has to at least be some changes, some updates, and they have to have an awareness what to hold on to that's still the spirit of the original, because it's not going to be the same for everything. So you have to kind of really think hard about it, both think hard about it, but also very simply about it as well. Think hard about it, but don't overthink it, if that makes sense.
Low expectations, thank you for the $5 super chat. My reaction after seeing Borderlands, I'll say this, I do want to play the games as penance for my sins for watching this abomination.
Yeah, I never did see it. I guess nobody went to see it the more I think about it. So I was debating whether or not to do a review on it. I'm like, if I do, maybe I'll do like an NC review, but I never played the game, so I don't know anything about it, so I'm like in no rush to see it.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Follow up on comedies that push the envelope on taste. I like your answer was Blazing Saddles. I think this century's Blazing Saddles is Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd have to think about that. There's certainly not as many, I guess I should say, good comedies that, try to push the envelope and, it'd be shocking and kind of tasteless, but are smart as well. The South Park movie, it wasn't that bad. That was pretty good. The Sausage Party, I guess, was okay. There's a couple in there, but yeah, maybe that is the closest I can think of.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Transformers 1 trailer?
I'm writing it down so I don't forget.
I saw that was the next question, and I was like, I can't wait to see if he's watched it yet or not.
No, and I feel bad because it takes
this is like week 3 or 4.
It takes literal seconds. I mean, well, why haven't I? It's because I haven't written it down. So I assure you, next time you see me streaming, maybe even by this Friday, I will have seen it by then.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. In Dial of Destiny, when Helena fights the random mafia gang, the leader is an actor who plays a disciple from The Chosen. And what episode are you on?
Oh, I did. Oh, see, now I gotta go back and pay attention to that. Okay. What episode am I on? We're like something like episode 4 of season 2, something like that. And I was wrong, by the way. I'm glad you brought this up because I said Rotten Tomatoes didn't have a score from it. I was wrong. The first season does. The series as a whole doesn't. But the first season does. And it is 100%, so I should tell you something.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you see Kevin Costner's new movie Horizon: An American Saga? It was a shame that it bombed, but you look at it realistically, it was kind of doomed to fail at the box office.
That's what I heard. I didn't hear that many great things about it. But I haven't even seen a trailer for it at all, so I don't know. I guess I don't have that much of a reaction to it.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of your favorite hot takes from the movies you reviewed?
Um, I mean, I didn't like Guardians 3, which is funny. There's this die-hard like Disney hate going on right now. Some of it's justified, but some of it, they're playing up for clicks. And I always like to point out, it's like, well, technically, I didn't like any of the Disney films that came out last year because everybody even hates Disney. Like, but Guardians 3 was awesome. I'm just like, I didn't even like that. So for all the extremists out there, they're, like to put the yellow text, on everything. Disney, blah, 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 teardrop and everything. I always kind of like the fact that I liked less movies than I think those people did.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of your favorite hot takes from the movies that you reviewed?
Is that the one I just answered?
Is it? I'm sorry. I was distracted by something. I'm sorry. I got distracted by something. Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. Bizarre fact, the posters of both War of the Worlds from 53 and 05 weirdly don't use the design from the aliens hand displayed. In fact, it's reversed.
I thought they had like the long. Oh, maybe they didn't have the suction cups. You're right. I don't think they had that in the newer one. You're right.
Case, thank you for the $10 super chat. I think the ventriloquist
Willie
would be a perfect villain for the Batman Part 2 or 3, allowing Pattinson's Batman to show compassion for a villain who doesn't want to be evil and is a victim of his mind.
Maybe, but visually, I don't know what you can. I mean, I guess you can. You can have like dream sequences and stuff like that, but they didn't really do that much in the first one. It's one of those things that already kind of writes itself. I don't know what you could add that's really that new in that universe. I'm sure it'd be fine, but I don't know. I'd be looking for something a little different, a little new.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Do a quick image search for both War of the Worlds film posters and alien hand scene. You'll be surprised. Heather, are you excited for Alan Romulus? You read the word alien wrong one time.
Oh, that's right. We had like a whole thing like Alan's. Alan versus Predator. That's right. We kept going. Just who is Alan and why does he get these movies named after him?
I hate Mets. Thank you for the $5 super chat. When are you ripping apart the abomination that is the Sandy Cheeks movie?
Oh, I mean, I had to bring in Strider to do the first movie because I even though I'm in SpongeBob, I don't know a ton of. I shouldn't say that. I watched like maybe a season early on, but I haven't kept up. I've heard it's pretty bad, which is weird. That seems like a pretty easy character to make like a cool, fun movie out of. But also we need like a physical copy of the movie because like we can comment on it and everything, but there is something when you have to technically get like an illegal copy of it that does make it a little trickier to defend. So yeah, if they ever make a disc of it, maybe. But they've had something like 3 or 4 movies, right? I haven't even done those. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some well-known celebrities who know about you that you've gotten to meet?
Corey. A
Corey.
lot of times, I was gonna say a lot of times I just have them on the show. Yeah, like Corey Taylor, Dante Bosco, Don Bluth, Rob Paulson, Maurice Marsh. Yeah, I mean, let's go. It's very rare that we've had a celebrity that we shot something with who was unpleasant. Like 99% of them were an absolute delight, and we're so thankful that they just did with it. Mara Wilson, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, I can keep going, but yeah, they're it's amazing I have this job. When I just think about all the people I'd see, even watching like some of these old shows again and being like, I've talked with that person, I recognize that name. I've interacted with this person. I've done something with this person. Like, it's so cool. So yeah, it's like I said, not many notes for me.
Azila. You know what? I can't read the word. I don't know why my brain got so stuck on that. Thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. Love the new haircut. I was wondering who's your personal favorite skit characters. My personal favorite was Black Willy Wonka. Love ya.
Hmm. Let me think. I'm trying to think what one I kind of get excited to write for. The two that I get excited to write for, and I don't use them much. One of them I've only used once, but I realize I love writing for them. Is our version of Rick from Rick and Morty, and then our version of Hunter S. Thompson. I don't know why it's not really my usual writing style, but when you have to kind of overwrite something and you can with these two characters, they have to be really witty, really funny, talk really fast. There's a lot of these run-on sentences, but they're so clever you let them pass. Those are really, really fun. And for a while, it was really cool that I think I was one of like 3 actors at IMDb who portrayed Hunter S. Thompson. It was like me, Bill Murray, and Johnny Depp. I'm like, oh my God, to be like only one of these 3, that was really amazing. I'm sure there's more now. But at the time, I was one of only 3 that represented Ralph Duke, Hunter S. Thompson's character.
Low expectations. Thank you for the $5 super chat. How would you integrate mutants for the X-Men into the MCU after Deadpool and Wolverine without going into spoilers, of course?
I don't know. It's weird because on the one hand, it's very exciting that, they're kind of working them into the MCU now. On the other hand, I don't know how I go about it. I'll say this. I would want an entirely new cast. I wouldn't even bring back Kelsey Grammer as Beast because they did that in an end credit scene in one of the movies. And I wouldn't even do that. I mean, I would really start fresh. The one thing I would do, they're not going to do it, but I think this is the way to do it. Do a live action X-Men show. I think that's the better way to go about it. You can really spend time on the characters, get to know them and stuff, and then work up to a movie. I think that'd be probably the better way to go. But I get if they wouldn't want to do that. I mean, it'd be crazy expensive and stuff like that. But when's that stopped them before?
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider doing a Rocky retrospective, including the Creed movies?
Yeah, I thought about it. I have it on the list. I haven't done like a collection of movies, like franchise movies in a while. I probably should because they are fun to do. But they do take a little bit more energy. So that might be part of it because again, the fatigue and everything. But that's one I have written down I would love to talk about because I do really love those movies.
Giancarlo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you know that the Rhino fight in the new Craven trailer was added last minute and wasn't meant to happen? I'm craving that fight. Not sorry.
You gotta say it's Craven time. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'll say this: it looks dumb, but it looks like they're embracing it. It looks like they're just having fun, going over the top with the gore, and I remember in one of the teasers they had like the Rhino transforming or something. So he was always in there, but I guess a fight is maybe what you're saying is the new thing they added. Which what were they gonna do with him if they didn't have a fight? What they gonna study his intellect? I mean, that's not why we watch the Rhino. So yeah, I think that's already kind of a warning sign. If they're like, wait, what if the person named the Rhino, who's half Rhino, fights someone? Like that sounds like it kind of goes without saying.
Tom, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who would win in a fight? Darth Vader from Star Wars or Megatron from Transformers? Just for fun.
I mean, it's got to be Vader. He has the Force. Yeah, I mean that's it.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Star Wars movie had the best score? I personally think Revenge of the Sith.
I do really like Revenge of the Sith. So okay, you can talk about like influence and stuff like that. Which case you got put in like either the first one or Empire. But in terms of my personal favorite, maybe Sith. I really like the Emperor's theme from Return of the Jedi a lot and what they do with that. So it's a toss up between those two because I really do like Return of the Jedi's music quite a bit.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. With John Wick films and voicing Shadow the Hedgehog, I finally forgive Keanu Reeves for the god-awful day the Earth Stood Still remake. Interested in reviewing it now or in 2028 for its 20th anniversary?
it's very easy to make fun of, but it's pretty dull, and I don't know how many people would click on it, honestly. I mean, it's clearly not good. Why would you even remake that movie? If you're gonna remake that movie, you gotta make a lot of changes and really update it, and they don't. So yeah, it's not good, but I don't know if there's enough material for a review. So probably not, but we'll see.
Jake Woodrow, thank you for the $6 super chat. Thoughts on the movie Traffic?
It's okay. That was one of those weird movies where when it came out, everybody was talking about it. And, it's the modern day Godfather and everything. And I saw it, I'm like, it's all right. So maybe I got to see it again, but I haven't heard anybody talk about it outside of that year. So yeah, I guess I'm in no rush.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU as Doctor Doom? I know everyone's divided on it, but I think there's potential, especially with what's been set up in the multiverse.
Um, I think it's weird. I think it's weird because we're not going to get an authentic Doctor Doom that's done well. And that's kind of a shame, because they have to work in somehow Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark and all that. Because if they don't, that's going to be really distracting. But I'm not saying there's no possibilities for it. I've heard some of the ideas that people have around it. It's like, sure, could be. I mean, could be something that's, decent, but I would like to see a version of that character done, right. And they're going to make changes no matter what, aren't they? Even if they didn't have Robert Downey Jr. in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's a move. I like that it's definitely a move where, it gets people talking. It's like, whoa, it's ambitious, but in terms of am I super excited about it? Not really, but I guess I'm open enough to it.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. How familiar are you with soap operas? Have you seen any of them, and what are their pros and cons?
Um, they're not my thing. I think my grandfather used to watch a lot of them, and he always said, 'cause, my grandmother passed, and he used to live with us, and he said, "I only watch it because your grandma used to watch it." I'm like, "Nah, that's not it. You watch. I mean, like every day you watch it. It's beyond just because she watched it. It's like, I don't know, but yeah, and I get the fun of them. I know why they're fun and corny and overcomplicated and stuff like that. I like soap opera parodies more than soap opera. The movie Soap Dish is hilarious. The movie Soap is hilarious, or the show Soap is hilarious. So I think I like those more.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you excited for the Trey Parker film coming next year starring Kendrick Lamar? There's not a lot of info about it, but it sounds interesting.
Well, there's not a lot of info. I'm crazy excited. No, first I'm hearing of it.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. You prefer Fantastic Four 2005 or Fanforstic, and why?
Oh, the original, because it is bad. I mean, they're all bad, but at the very least, they look like the characters. They do some of like the classic Fantastic Four stuff, but it's not good. I like the Thing. He's really there and he's all makeup. That was kind of cool. You don't really see that much anymore. But yeah, but clearly bad movie.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. Follow up on movies seen at too young of an age. My dad hilariously showed me Alien and told me ramen noodles created that chest burst alien. I was only 4.
4, that's pretty young. I don't think I was that young when I saw it. I mean, but we were pretty young when we saw both those movies. And like I said, we always just kind of thought every rated R movie was like that. So we see like a comedy that has like, a lot of F-bombs in it or something. We're just like, man, I wonder how they work in, an alien busting out of the chest in that comedy kind of thing. Of course, that's not how it worked.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. A movie I think would be fun for you to review is The Tale of Despero. Not only would you probably get some Matthew Broderick jokes out of it, but I would also like to see your thoughts on how odd it is.
Yeah, I might put that on there.
I always forget that's been a movie.
Yeah, and me too. That's one of the reasons I forget about it too. And I'm just like, oh yeah, like I haven't seen it. I heard it's not that great, but I'm with you. It's like Matthew Broderick as a little mouse. Like there's got to be material.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your opinions on YouTubers who end their career because of petty internet drama?
I mean, it's up to them, I guess.
Right. Well, and sometimes it may seem petty to you, but that doesn't mean it's not taking a large toll on like their mental health and their ability to like do their job. You know what I mean?
I'll say I've seen a lot of people who, as they say become terminally online. It's like nobody should be. You should
Yeah.
go move your body around, what they say, touch grass, all that. I mean, all the cliches. I mean, it's good for anyone, not just YouTubers. So yeah, I mean, definitely take care of this because, whether a YouTuber or you're just online a lot, too much of it is not good for your mental health.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, Star Wars Outlaws comes out this month, the 30th. Will you play it for Disney-cember?
Um, I know I gotta play Epic Mickey at some point too.
Yeah.
So one of those I'll play for Disney December this year, depending on when they come out and how long they are too. I'll write that down though to add to the list.
Low Expectations, thank you for the $10 super chat. What's your favorite and least favorite Stanley Kubrick film? My favorite is Doctor Strangelove, and least favorite is Killer's Kiss. I haven't seen his first film, which everyone says is his worst.
Um, that's the funny thing. He hasn't made that many movies. I don't think I've seen them all either. I think there's a couple I've made. Like I haven't seen Killer's Kiss. What I say, like out of what I've seen is his worst. I mean, I don't think there's really any bad movies he's made. Maybe just because it's not in the same style, as his usual stuff, and he was a director for hire, maybe Spartacus, but it's not bad. It's just not great. And my favorite, Clockwork Orange is definitely my favorite.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. True or false? You're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts.
I mean, I was gonna say, facts are facts, but even then, like sometimes in court, something can be proven, and then new evidence can come in and prove a different fact. So even that's a little challenging. I lean towards, believing facts, like 90% of the time, but even that can be challenged.
Unheard Sirens, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, did you see that Renegade React just wrapped up a 24-hour stream reacting to NC? Nuts.
God have mercy on you, man. Holy smokes. I couldn't do that. I couldn't watch me for 24 hours. So yeah, all the best to you, man.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you watch any Robin Williams movies for his Remembrance Day?
Absolutely, which was today. No, I didn't. It doesn't mean I don't obviously miss him like everybody does and see the tragedy of it and everything, but I mean, I think that's kind of part of it, is that he's such a natural part of like cinema and comedy and everything that whether you want to or not, he kind of shows up all over the place. I think that's a good thing because he was so talented and brought so much. So it's almost one of those things where it's like you almost don't have to, because he's so naturally integrated into all our lives, at least in terms of like media and entertainment and comedy.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. If I ever met you, do you mind if I rub your shiny bald head?
I probably should.
Jimmy, thank you for the $10 super chat. How did you find the motivation to write your scripts or do the things you want to do? I've been trying to write more, but keep putting it off because I'm tired or burnt out.
Well, I definitely hear that more and more. Not only with age, but like I said, I did get like the fatigue and stuff. It does make it a little trickier to stay on top of stuff. But I mean, what gets me through it is that I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think that is something you have to be honest with yourself about. And not to say like you don't love writing. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying with any kind of entertainment, I always tell people, make sure you're doing it because you love it, because there's a lot stacked against you with entertainment. I mean, now it's open to everybody, which is great. That's the good news. The bad news is it's open to everybody. Everybody can now take a part in it, so there's a lot more competition. So make sure either way it's something that's giving you joy. This is what you really, really like. And if it is, and it's something that just takes a while, okay, let it take a while. But if you find it's not bringing you joy, try to find whatever the hobby or whatever that does bring you joy. And if you can make it a living, great. If not, you're enjoying it anyway, so you win either way.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen The Green Mile? It might be long, but it's a fantastic story, and I can't help but miss Michael Clark Duncan even more.
I do miss him a great deal. That's another one of those actors where I'm like, man, I can't believe that guy is gone. He left such a huge impact.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle!
He's a great actor, had great personality and everything. I mean, really left his mark, in my opinion. With that said, I think the movie's just okay. Whenever I talk about Stephen King, I always include it on best of lists, like a little shout out, because I feel like I have to, or else people will kill me. But it's not one of my favorites. There are things that certainly work in it, and he is one of them certainly. But it's just not. I feel like you could have gotten that across in an hour and a half very easily, and some of the twists and stuff are a little too convenient, in my opinion. But it is a good movie. It's a perfectly fine movie. It's not one of my personal favorites, and I know I'm going to hell for that because nobody can believe when I say that, but it's just not.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. Multiple choice. Which screenwriter wrote the best drama for Spider-Man? Raimi, Mark Webb, or John Watts?
Um, I mean, I want to say John Watts, but it's kind of cheating, isn't it? Because it's taking from the other Spider-Man movies. So yeah, I don't know. That's a little rough because they've all written like a really good script at one point in those movies. So it's yes, for me, I'll say John Watts because that's technically my favorite. But I acknowledge there's a little bit of cheating because he is taking from the other movies.
Tifio, or I just read that, sorry. Low expectations, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think a lot of movies nowadays, whether they're good or bad, lean too hard into being mainstream or artsy, and few strike an equal balance?
There's an interesting video, this does tie into this, I think called What Happened to the Modest Budget Movies. And I think that's a good question because again, you look at Disney last year and all of them were like some of the top 10 like most expensive films and they didn't need to be. And there is maybe a little too much focus on that. So I think rather than looking at artistically pleasing and mainstream, maybe just look at the budget because I do find if you give a modest budget, but not like a crazy budget, then you have to work a little clever. You have to work smarter, with it. And you have to work within your limitations. And a lot of times you can get a better product that way because you have to film it in a different way. You have to find a creative way around a problem you have. So I would actually lean more towards that. I think, I'm not saying that's all the problems, but I think a good chunk of it is, it's so rare that I say this, cut the budgets back. Don't think that you can do everything and anything because then you'll find different solutions that might lead to different types of movies.
What up, JD? Thank you for the $10 super chat. What up, Doug and Heather? Which X-Men movie do you like the most? X-Men First Class or Days of Future Past? Those were always my favorite X-Men movies next to the Deadpool movies and the first X-Men.
Yeah, First Class, hands down. That's still my favorite out of all of them. It has the most life and energy to it. It has the most drama. It's exciting. It made X-Men I don't care about at all interesting. Yeah, no, when I think of like, man, what's like an X-Men movie that got like the closest to capturing like that feel of the original comic and that excitement, but also the drama and the weight of it. That's the one I think of.
S. Cape Goat, thank you for the 35 ZAR through Super Chat. Doug and Heather, Doug, kiss, marry, kill. Devil Boner, Chester, Uncle Lies.
I love you all. You can all have my body. Was it
Kiss, marry, kill.
I guess kill Uncle Lies because he's dangerous. Kiss Devil Boner because that's the closest to a strong masculine character I'll ever be. And marry Chester because he's a sweetheart. Isn't that right, honey bun?
Yes, indeed. Oh, that was not the right voice.
That's a little close.
Kind of close. BR, thank you for the £5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the song Eye to Eye from a Goofy movie? Honestly, I think it might be my favorite Disney tune.
It's funny you say that because I have to remind myself which one that is. Eye to Eye.
Eye to Eye, where we listen to each other's hearts.
Oh, the big one at the end.
Yeah.
It's all right. I know that's another sacrilege. I know.
Turn this stream around, Doug Walker.
But I didn't grow up with it though. I mean,
that's true.
People that don't grow up with it, are humming like After Today. Like that's the song that sticks with them. It's a charming little song of that time and everything. If I grew up with it, I would love it. I'd be like, yeah, I'd have like, the t-shirts on and everything. But because I didn't, I'm like, it's fine.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which inner monologue animals returning home film would you rather see/review? A Dog's Way Home, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, or Milo and Otis?
I never did see A Dog's Way Home, so it may be that. And Milo and Otis, I would just be like, can I make this joke? Can I not make this joke knowing its history?
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of your favorite media critics and videos you found particularly innovative and thought provoking?
I mean, a lot of them I've interacted with, like James Rawl from and Brad Jones and stuff like that. But others, Hats Off Entertainment does very, very good stuff. Am I logged into my YouTube? Can I just look at some of the subs I have here? I am. Let's see. A Terrific Tyreek does really great stuff. There's one channel I just discovered, kind of like your thoughts, called MJ Tanner. I mean, she just kind of talks about stuff in media, but her stuff's pretty good. Dan Merle is another great critic. Good Bad Flicks, very good. Andre, Black Nerd Comedy, Phantom Strider. Hack the Movies, also very good. Yeah, that's a good sum up there.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Aardman film do you like more, Chicken Run or Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit?
I'll probably say the Were-Rabbit. I like Wallace and Gromit. Chicken Run is fine, but I thought Were-Rabbit had a pretty good twist in the middle that did legit. It surprised me, which is pretty rare for especially an animated family film. So I like that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. My two favorite sitcoms are Dinosaurs and Home Improvement. Which one do you like more?
I think Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs great.
Bizarrely has really good commentary.
So good.
Everyone thinks it's just the, baby saying punchlines. Yeah, well, which it is that too, just saying catchphrases. But if you really look at what they're doing with the commentary, I think because people just underestimated them so much, they got away with a lot more. And it's really, really clever. It still has one of, if not the darkest ending of a sitcom ever. So yeah, it's surprisingly pretty good.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some of your favorite quotes from your favorite filmmakers?
Man, man, I really gotta think. They're all the ones I'm thinking of are ones that are like borderline abusive. Like, I guess I'm not saying these are my favorite, but they're sticking with me because I remember like Hitchcock in one of the episodes he shot for Hitchcock Presents. It starred a little kid. I think it was the Bang You're Dead episode. And at some point, the kid's just being a kid. He's acting up. He's delaying the shoot and everything because he's rambunctious and everything. And Hitchcock, you could not do this today at all. You probably shouldn't even done it back then. But he just leans in. He's just supposed to stand still, and he's got too much energy, and he just leans towards him. And he says, "If you don't stand still, I will nail your feet to the floor, and the blood will pour out of them like milk." And he stood there, which is horrifying. You can't do that today. I don't even know if you could do it.
You should not have.
But the kid grew up, told stories about it, seems to have a good sense of humor. Great. I wouldn't advise usually doing that to kids on a set. They got enough issues, probably.
Sway, thank you for the $10 super chat. Good evening to both of you. Doug, have you seen Shyamalan's most recent film, Trap? And if so, thoughts?
Oh, awful. Wonderfully awful. It does go on way too long. Everyone said there's a million endings to it, so I was prepared for it. And the last ending, the very last one they have, it's like they saved the worst for last because it's literally just two people at a table and you have these two not really well framed close-ups in this dark, dark room. So there's nothing interesting to look at. It's going on way too long. And it's like, that's the point where I'm like, okay, come on. There's only so much we can take. The rest was beautifully fun garbage. I had a great time with it.
Random Youper, thank you for the $5 super chat. Been watching you since That Guy with the Glasses. How did you manage to get on Smiling Friends?
They asked. That was really it. And I already knew like the stuff they were doing like on Oni Plays and stuff. I thought was very funny. I guess so they knew I had a good sense of humor. And yeah, I was pretty much like, anything you need from me, I'm down when they asked. And they're like, oh, great. Can you just play yourself? You're just a demon slayer. All right, I can do that.
Tifio, thank you for the $5 super chat. You've gotten some harsh criticisms in the past. Have you seen any of them, and how did their words impact your growth?
I've seen some. I don't look for them, but it is good to listen. I mean, especially as a critic, you should listen to criticism, and you should know how to take it. But at the same time, there is a part of me that it's tough because I say trust your gut, which is not always the easiest thing because it is usually good to take yourself out of the equation, try to look at it objectively and be like, okay, does this work? If I wasn't looking at me, would this work? Would this win me over kind of thing? And that's tricky to do. So sometimes it is good to have people come in and say, not only does something work or not work, but why it does or doesn't. And you can agree or disagree, but like I said, I think you gotta trust your gut because they're not always right, but other times they are right, and you gotta own up to it. Like I said, you gotta take yourself out of the equation. So I've seen some, and it's always rough when you're like, "Ugh, they're right, dang it. You hate to admit it, but at the same time, it's good to learn from it, and it's one of the ways that you do get better is that you have. If you're trying to give good criticism, I think it's also good to listen to good criticism.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's a movie you think people need to watch more than once to fully comprehend? For me, it's Memento. Still a great movie.
Um, I can just say once that I had to watch, and they're usually some of my favorite movies. Eyes Wide Shut is one I had to see again. Brazil is my all-time favorite movie. I had to see again. Um, I'm sure there's others, but I'm blanking on them. I mean, most people don't have to do this, but I did. I had to watch Matilda again to figure out why this actually was a really great movie. And when I watch it again, I mean, I really had to eat my words. I was like, oh, yeah, this is really good. This really, really works.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did Rob watch Dial of Destiny with you? What did he think?
Oh, yeah, he already saw it once before then, which, man, the fact he had to sit through it again with me, that couldn't have been fun. We have pretty much the exact same thought. He did have an alternate opening, which I was gonna put in, but the review is already just too long, where you open with them getting on the plane. You see them in the YouTube uniforms, as I said, in the review, and but you see Indiana Jones old, and you sort of say, well, how did he get to this point? And I'm like, I feel like that's been done a few too many times with it. You're wondering how it got here, kind of thing. But at the same time, he is correct. You would be looking at this saying, wait a minute, how are they young but him old? And see how we got here. It would be kind of interesting. But I feel like it's been done a little too much. And like I said, just the review was long enough. But it's not a bad idea. It's just sadly a trope that's been, done to death.
Prowl, thank you for the $10 super chat. Mr. Walker, you have reviewed one of my favorite actors' movie, Jim Carrey. I wonder if you plan on reviewing Ace Ventura 1 and 2, and did you know they made Ace Ventura Jr. movie?
Yeah, I never saw the junior one. Ace Ventura is a very tricky movie to talk about because it's one of those where I acknowledge you just have to be in the right mood for it. I do know there's people that can put it on anytime and laugh and everything, but I mean, with me, I have to be just in a very specific, surreal, goofy mood to really enjoy it, because if not, I find it very annoying, especially at my age. So I don't know if I'm the right one to talk about it, because even when it works, when I feel like it works, I'm in the right mood. I don't know if I can explain it properly. I don't know if I'm the right person to do it.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. My last question for this week is, why am I still asking you questions knowing every $5 spent is putting a hole in my income? Well, see you next week.
Thank you for that, but please take care of yourself.
Yes.
Please, everybody, take care of yourselves.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. That's the one where Randy and Mickey Mouse started the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, the South Park episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. I remember being... Oh, maybe it was confusing. Okay. Yes, I did see that one. It's still very, very funny.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. The Marvel show Echo for Disney-cember.
I never did see it. I don't even know what's about. I'll look into it.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. So I have a dirty, filthy confession. I prefer Kevin Michael Richardson's Joker over Mark Hamill. Don't get me wrong, Hamill's great, but KMR is just more entertaining to watch.
I'm
blanking on who Kevin Michael
Richardson
when he played Joker.
Yeah, me
Also,
too. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He was the one from the Batman.
Oh.
Honestly, so I have heard that before. I haven't seen much of that show. I should. That's another one I have to add to the list to check out at some point. Man, that and like Static Shock. That's another one I gotta see. There's so many shows. When I first heard this Joker, though, I thought it was just Hamill. I thought it was just Hamill doing a different take. I couldn't believe it was a different person. Uh, I've heard that before. You're not alone. I've heard people say they really like that Joker um, quite a bit. I don't know if as much as a Hamill, but I'm sure there's others out there. I gotta see the whole show because I hear that's actually really well done.
We're going to have to pick up the pace.
Thanks
We're
up.
still
Gotcha.
over an hour behind.
Gotcha.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Here's a sad story. A friend of mine said that she's seen all the Seltzerberg movies, but not any Mel Brooks or Zucker brothers. I suggested to her that she fix this mistake immediately, if not sooner.
Yes. The only cure for that kind of sickness is medicine. She needs medicine.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. How about a video of your real thoughts on all the announcements from D23? I would love to hear your thoughts on Incredibles 3 and Zootopia 2.
I don't have much. Honestly, what you heard here was kind of it. Like I'm open to them, but there's too many. I mean, that's about it.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. You recently joked about Pooh's Grand Adventure in the Dumb and Dumber NC. Do you plan on doing an NC for Pooh's Adventure?
No, but I did do a Disney Semper on it, so you can check that out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any plans to review Alien and Aliens? You have reviewed most of the bad ones, but it'd be nice to see you review the only two good ones.
We talked about maybe doing like an Alien month, so maybe we'll do that. It would make sense to do it then.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. With Sausage Party, Foodtopia is out. Any plans watching it and or doing a first viewing, sibling rivalry, Doug reviews, Untitled, or NC of the movie/show?
We started it. We weren't getting that into it. It wasn't bad, but we just feel like we've, kind of seen it. Like the time has passed, you know what I mean, for it. So probably not.
Will, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, I have to say, while I know you're not a fan of it, I really respect you when you visited the Jungle Book remake in your Disney Semper and understand why people, including myself, really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and I still honestly the animated one is very different, but I still like it. I think it's a good flick, so it can be done and still be different.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Indiana Doug. I want to ask your thoughts on Little Miss Sunshine. Personally, I feel it's a dang good underrated Oscar film.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that's Dan Reba as the kid, as the boy in there. I always forget that. Yeah, no, I think it's a very charming movie.
Only Giovanni, thank you for the $5 super chat. I came from the 24-hour NC stream. God bless that man.
Oh my god, I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen the Gregory Peck movies Spellbound by Alfred Hitchcock or The Big Country? On a related note, what are your favorite performances by his aside from To Kill a Mockingbird?
Boy. I mean, if we're going really cliche, but it is good. Ahab. I always think of whenever I read the book, I think of that Ahab in my mind. And no, I haven't seen those two. I gotta check them out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. A callback I love in Toy Story 2 is when Buzz said you're not a toy to Woody, while in the first one it was used as a comedic moment. In the second one, it's more serious moment. And I love how it shows how much Buzz learned from Woody. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like that. You are a toy. For how long? That I like. It wasn't just a joke. It was a good lead-in to a dramatic moment. I agree.
Hyperdevil Fangirl Boner, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen or heard of a movie called Cutthroat Island? It was released in the mid-90s and stars Gina Davis as a pirate. I read online it was the Guinness World Record for being one of the biggest box office bombs in history.
Yeah, I would review it, except it's very dull. It's another one of those really boring movies. You can see the money on the screen, which is cool, but it's surprisingly just really, really not very entertaining.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the movie X or Pearl? If so, what are your thoughts?
I've seen Pearl. I really like it. At some point, I'll see X. Every time we start it, we're always kind of like, I'm not in the mood for this. 'Cause, I mean, it's a little too well done. Like, it's just so grungy and so depressing and so, gritty that we always kind of go, nah, to it. But one of these days, I'll sit down and watch the whole thing.
Spike Bebop, thank you for the $20 super chat. When they announced She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel, I excited. Did they do a good job with those female Marvel characters? Also, tomorrow's my 28th birthday! Well, happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy early birthday. Was it She-Hulk, Captain Marvel,
and Miss Marvel.
And Miss Marvel. I really liked Miss Marvel a great deal.
The series.
I didn't get into Captain Marvel. And parts of She-Hulk I like. If they did a second season, I would tune in because I do think there's stuff in there that can be really good. It just didn't come together for me though.
Gorilla Steve, thank you for the $2 super chat. Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. I think if the live action Cinderella, which I did enjoy for a remake, came out today, I imagine you and Rob wouldn't be as hard on it now as opposed to then, especially compared to the later remakes.
Now I'm kind of wondering if I'd be more hard on it, honestly, because I feel
Oh,
like I would
really?
look at a lot of the hammering in the message early on was, be honest, stay true, and whatever they said over and over. Like, we already didn't like it then. I feel like we'd hate it even more now. But knowing what's going to be coming, down the line with the other remakes, but I still kind of remember liking it, like, all rightish. Like, maybe it doesn't quite work, but it's on the higher ups of those. Like, it looked very nice. I like they gave the prince and her chemistry. Like, they talk to each other.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Inside Out 2, what do you think of the scene where Joy starts to lose hope and anger is the one to encourage her? I like how Lewis Black is surprisingly good at heartfelt moments.
Yeah, and I like that the emotions have other emotions. Like, I like anger can have sympathy and joy can have sadness. And of course, they tapped into that in the first film. I feel they tapped even more into that in the second one. I think that adds a lot of complexity to them. They're not just one note.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. So what are your thoughts on the Stolas Blitz situation? Everyone on Reddit is like they're both equally wrong, and I'm like, Stolas has clearly been putting in the effort.
I don't know if I know about it. I'm so sorry. I got to do research on it.
That's from Hell of a Boss. Yeah, I haven't watched the new season yet, so I don't know. Or season 2.
Oh,
Stolas
like with the
and
character?
Blitz? Yeah. I still
I
don't know
got,
what the situation is, so.
I gotta look up the let's let me look up which of those characters they are.
Stolas is the owl. Blitz is one of the main character.
So hold on. How do you say it? Solus? S-O?
Stolas.
Stolas.
Or Stolas, Stolas.
There we go. Stolas Blitz. Oh, but that's okay. The main character. I'm sorry. See, I like this show. I always forget their names. I always call them the Owl Prince. I think it's going on too long. Honestly, I like their relationship. I think we gotta finally do something with it. I think it's just stretching it out now.
Snow Cone Guy, thank you for that subscription over on Twitch. Welcome. South Park, The Simpsons, SpongeBob, and Bob's Burgers had theatrical releases. It always feels very special to me. Which animated TV show would you like to experience as a movie in the cinema?
I mean, I don't know what they would do, but I love to see Avatar: The Last Airbender, like some sort of special anime movie. Like, not we gotta combine all the seasons. No, just like some sort of new movie, or even Korra. Like some
there's
sort
new
of
ones
movie
coming.
That.
New animated
that's
movies
right.
are coming. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So I guess there you go. Dream come true.
Gorilla Steve, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you review Ghoulies for Nostalgiaween?
I've never seen it. I always remember seeing it at the video store. I've never checked it out. Maybe.
Will, thank you for the $10 super chat. If you're able to, for its 30th anniversary next year, would you do an NC or Disney December of Heavyweights, starring Ben Stiller and Kenan Thompson? I feel it's a prequel to the film Dodgeball for Stiller.
I've never seen it. I hear more people talking about it, though. I think it's one of those where it's kind of hard to find on DVD, so it might be a little tricky, but I might.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. As far as film replacing actors after a teaser, I think the best example of good change was Damian Wayne replacing Richard Pryor in Look Who's Talking 2.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that's what happened. Hey, you could be right.
Talons of Water, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are there any movies made between 1997 and 2014 that you think should be in the National Film Registry?
Oh, sure, a ton. I'd have to look at them. I mean, that's a long amount of time.
Yeah.
I'd have to see. I'd have to look at a list.
Escape Goat, thank you for the 70 ZAR through Super Chat. This is the 10-year anniversary of watching your videos. As you love art, and I would love to see what your reaction would you consider looking at the art you've unlocked in Arkham City.
The art I've unlocked in Arkham City.
Yeah, you can unlock special art stuff. I looked at the end when I finished my playthrough. I just went through the gallery and took a look, so maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, I might do that. I would dig that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which hero and villain relationship in the Spider-Man games do you like more? Peter and Otto in the first one, or Peter and Harry in the second one?
I think I'll say Peter and Otto, but it's pretty close. They're both pretty well done.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. I saw Shyamalan's Trap and had an absolute blast. This is great Shyamalan suspense and keeping us guessing of what's going to happen. Definitely watch it.
I had a blast too. Complete opposite reasons. But I hear some people are legit liking it.
Chill Spartan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you considered reading the canon Alien/Aliens novels? And if you did, which one and how did you like it?
No, I didn't even know they were a thing. I'll try to check them out.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Disney announced a Greatest Showman Broadway show. Thoughts? Excitement level?
I feel like as long as people know it's complete bunk, I think they can have fun with it.
JT, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, do you think Ryan Reynolds and Jackman should make their own movie titled X-Force, which features a character I don't want to say because spoilers. To do X-Force. Should
Yeah.
they make it?
I mean, if they're gonna do it, I'm fine with starting over completely. I don't think they need to, bring Jackman back or anything like that. Just start fresh.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Spider-Man games, what do you think of Mary Jane? Do you think her and Peter have good chemistry?
Fine. I mean, the thing I remember most is, again, I guess it's a spoiler, when she turns into another character. Like, that's what I remember the most about her. But I remember the chemistry being okay.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug Poole, what are your thoughts on insert Kurt Russell movie of your choice here?
Tombstone. It's awesome.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. So how do you feel about the Mr. Beast drama? Or is he so new school YouTube, it's like a completely separate world?
I mean, that's kind of a good way of putting it. It is kind of. I kept up with a little bit of it. Some of it's pretty silly. Like, the raccoon's a paid actor. Oh my God, who cares? Like, some of it's just straight up Hollywood, like behind the scenes stuff, like, stuff goes on. Some of it's really legit and, should rightfully so be delved into more. But I'm not an expert on it. I can't pretend like I followed all of it. Yeah, so that's about the most I can say.
Mark Murders, thank you for the 500 bits. Yo, Doug, I finally got my VTube puppet finished and I got a preview of it in a special message I made for you on my Twitch account.
Oh, well, cool. I'll try to check it out.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Why do you not like Superman 4: The Quest for Peace? I grew up with that movie and 3 and they weren't that terrible.
They're pretty bad. I will say 4 is kind of so bad it's a little fun. But even when I was a little kid watching it, I really wanted to see it. My folks said, no, it's too stupid. Not even on an ethical level, it's just too stupid. And when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, this is too stupid. I will say, Hackman and Reeves still have great chemistry. That is the one thing that's still really good in that.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. Hello, y'all. Oh, so my pa passed away this Monday. He was 89. He was the best pa in the whole world. My family and I are having his funeral this Friday. Thank you so much for the continued thoughts and prayers. And as always, stay awesome, Doug, Heather, and the rest of Channel Awesome. I'm so sorry to hear that, Sailor
Yeah.
Aaron. I know how much you loved your pa.
Yeah, all our thoughts to you, man. Yeah, really. It's but all our love to you.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Question for Heather. Oh boy. How would you rank these Jokers? Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Hamill, Ledger. Hamill, Ledger, Phoenix.
Well done.
Sean, 49 Doctor, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, as a fan of documentaries, have you seen the works of British presenter James Burke, the man behind Connections and The Day the Universe Changed? He recently started a new series on Curiosity streaming.
No, he sounds interesting, honestly. I'll try to check him out.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $10 super chat. I would like to ask, what are some examples of films handling subjects properly and others that tackle the same subjects badly? My examples are Boys Don't Cry for proper telling and It's Pat for bad telling.
Um, good choices. I don't know if this counts because they didn't dive too much into it, but you could tell they were trying to a little bit there's a connection here, I swear. In A Bug's Life, I feel like with the princess character, they're trying to give her anxiety, and they just kind of used it as like a funny little joke, which you can do, but it just wasn't that funny. And then you can tell they're trying to dive into more character with her with the anxiety, but it didn't go anywhere. It wasn't that interesting. And clearly with Inside Out 2, they just like tackled that in like almost every way you could tackle it. I'm not saying it's like the best comparison. It's like just the only one that's come to my head right now. But yeah, it's the best one I can think of right now.
Andrea, thank you for the $10 super chat. Would you consider doing an updated version of top 10 scariest movie characters?
Maybe? I don't know. I mean, I like that list quite a bit. I'll have to see. I'll look at it again and get back to you.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Star Trek The Next Generation, which duo do you like more, Picard and Riker or Geordi and Data?
Jordy and Data. I'm a big Data simp. Anytime there's a Data episode, I'm always like, "Tell me more. What don't you understand?" I mean, like, I don't know. It's so hard to write that consistently well, and they surprisingly do. There's very few goof ups with it. So yeah, I always like that.
Gear Grind Peter, thank you for the 200 bits for the message effect. Hello, Doug. I've been watching Nostalgia Critic for years, big fan. So I think I found a band movie for you and your character critic. What if I told you I found a movie that's so bad and so cringy that the whole world forgot it existed or didn't want to remember it? Are you familiar with an actor named Tim Daly? In 1995, they made a movie based off a book called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but his movie was called Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. And let me tell you, that movie is, let's just say, not good.
I remember it. As no, I remember the video store, and I'm like, I bet that's bad. I think I have seen people review it before, and they kind of talk about how famously bad it is. Maybe I'll look into it. I never have watched it, so it might be one to check out.
Agent J, thank you for the $5 super chat. Dear Mr. Critic, thanks for giving Flushed Away some love. I grew up with that movie and it was always a favorite of mine. Same with Over the Hedge.
Yeah, I couldn't quite get into Over the Hedge, but there's moments in there I really like. Where Flushed Away, I thought was a legit pretty fun film.
WC, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen any comic-based animated series from the 2010s like Young Justice or Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes? Both are must-watches.
I've seen a little bit of Young Justice, just a little bit. What I saw, I really liked. That is another one I want to check out. I haven't had time to, sadly.
Tiger Ethan Liu, thank you for the 500 bits. Would you review the Spielberg West Side Story for NC review? I feel like that's worth discussing since, in my opinion, it may just be the best live-action Disney remake that didn't technically remake. Rachel Zegler is even a Disney live-action remake now.
Yeah, that's true. It is very good. I did Disney December on it. I feel like I got all my thoughts out in that one, but I was going in ready to not like it. I was surprised I really, really enjoyed it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Want them to do a Poison Ivy for Batman Part 3 to see her seduce him to the bad side. I think that'd be fun.
Batman Part 3?
Yeah.
There's only
one.
Right? Yeah. So I guess that's just part of your 3-part plan. Sure. Yeah, I think they get fun with that.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, so Kei Hu Kwan, I never say his name right, I'm sorry, has mentioned he would like to do a short round film. Do you think that could work, or do you think he'd just be as annoying as an adult, if not so more?
Oh, no, I think they would do that well. I like put it this way. They have, after his Oscar win, what they saw he can do, they would be idiots. They would have to try to mess that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they would have to actively make it bad. I think now that they know what he can do, I mean, they always could see what he could do, but they can see it even more now after the Oscar. I'd be down for that. I think they could do something cool with that.
Caleb Pirtle, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, hope you're having a great day. I know what you think of Randy Newman as a songwriter, but what do you think of him as a composer?
It's all right. There's some nice themes in there. I actually really do like the theme from Pleasantville. I think it's pretty nice.
Fire Tower, thank you for the $5 super chat. We do appreciate the $5, but we're not going to talk about how certain creators left on good or bad terms from Channel Awesome. Yeah. Warhawk, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any thoughts on reviewing Ready to Rumble from a film goer's perspective?
More and more people are bringing that film up. Is there like some kind of like resurgence happening with it or something? I'm not sure. I've never seen it. I'm not a big wrestling guy. So I don't know if I'm the right one to talk about it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it just to see what all the talk is about.
Only Giovanni, thank you for becoming a 6-month member over on YouTube. Appreciate that. Any little Einsteins for Disney-cember? Little Einstein.
Okay, well, you know more what it is than I do.
It is like a preschool show.
I was going to say, I think it's a preschool show thing. So probably not. I'm sure it's fine, though.
Agent J, thank you for the $5 super chat. I asked this on a chat a few months ago, but I just want to keep a Hellboy review fresh in your mind, as your Blade 2 review is one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you so much. Maybe I could probably do those. Again, they're movies I didn't quite get that into, but I'm sure I could do a review of them at some point. We'll see.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. Also, may we have a hint for next week's review? Is it an old movie or a new movie? A good movie? A bad movie? Do tell.
It's good. It's a movie I reviewed in DreamWorks Uary, and I'm giving it another watch because I did like it originally, but I was saying people really like it, and I kind of want to see if I was missing something with it by giving it another go. So, yeah, there's your hint.
Devox, thank you for the 500 bits. This question is inspired by the Loki TV series. If you could meet a variant of yourself, see how your life would turn out if you did something different in your past, who would it be? What would it be?
I guess I'd be curious if if I stuck with being an illustrator. I'm a little curious about that. If this didn't work out, that would be what I'd be trying out. Still doing because I do love to draw, but now I just have no time for it. So I'd be curious about that.
I'd be super curious if there's another dimension somewhere. So I made it to the very, very last rounds of being a part of the reality TV show King of the Nerds. I literally was one step away from being flown out to LA to actually do the filming, but I messed up my final interview like I knew I did. So in some universe, I nailed that interview and I was on TV and never did any of this,
What?
I'd be curious about that.
I never even heard of that show.
King of the Nerds was on TBS for only 2 seasons.
Oh, well, I mean, we know we've been on longer than that, so that's good.
Yeah. Jorge, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, how would you rank these Looney Tunes based on humor? Foghorn, Leghorn, Daffy Duck, Yosemite Sam, Taz.
Daffy be number one. Foghorn Leghorn a close second. He's really grown on me. Probably Taz and then Yosemite Sam, but they're all funny.
Bambi, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you looked at the Book of Bill yet? I love you and Rob doing the Gravity Falls vlogs.
Oh, not yet. I think I have it on my Christmas list though. I do want it.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever thought about reviewing the Rocky Horror Picture Show this coming Nostalgiaween? I know how big of a Tim Curry fan you are.
Yeah, but the songs are gonna get me hit pretty quick with the copyright claims. They hit music much harder than movies with that stuff. And again, we can fight it, but it could take literally months to do so without getting any money from it and the momentum be killed. So probably not.
Eagle Spangled, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, I loved your reviews of the Scooby-Doo movies and wonder if the review of the 2000s animated Scooby movies, I hear they're some of the best.
Have I reviewed any of them? Was Zombie Island on there? And maybe it's not 2000. I don't know. I'll try to look into them.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Which film composer do you like better, John Williams or Danny Elfman, and why?
I think I grew up listening to a lot of Danny Elfman, so I think that's always going to hold a special place in my heart, even though John Williams is probably better and has more consistently good work. But in terms of what would I rather hear, the best of John Williams or the best of Danny Elfman, I'd rather hear the best of Danny Elfman.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. It was 12 years since you did that Worst of NC Movies video. Trust me, that too makes me feel old as I remember watching it when it first uploaded. Oh, there he is.
Hey, okay, I heard it's been 12 years since the worst.
I thought you were
NC
just
video.
spacing out. Sorry. It was 12 years since you did the Worst of the NC Movies video. Trust me, that too makes me feel old as I remember watching it when it was first uploaded.
That's crazy to think. And sorry, I just saw myself on a delay and me just like that.
So
That really
I
made me
thought
laugh.
for a second it was a bit. I thought you were just oh God, yeah, 12 years. It was not a bit.
That's pretty funny. But yes, as if I didn't already need to feel old.
Ricky, thank you for the $10 super chat. Will there be any more theatrical reviews with green screen recreation, or has that current copyright laws prevent them? Hoping for a Deadpool and Wolverine recreational review.
Oh, like the clipless reviews.
Clipless,
That's what we used to call it.
yeah.
Probably. I'm just too old now. Honestly, they take a lot of time and energy. Thank you so much for the kind words about, but yeah, it'll probably not.
Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Dougie boy, want to start a cult?
I mean, I already got the shaped head. Let's go.
Eastern, thank you so much for the 2,000 bits. Really appreciate that. Here's money. Use it to buy candy, chips, corn, or whatever. It's your money now.
Thank you. I will.
TDI Charlie Brown, thank you for the $5 super chat. The Marvels vs. Capcom collection is coming out soon. Any chance those are going to make it the cut for Disney-cember in the future?
Maybe. I guess it'd take time to get used to like the new controls. At one point I did have like a joystick I got rid of a long time ago. I don't know. We'll see, because I do like those games, but I think it'd be tricky with like the little, the usual controller, PlayStation controller or whatever. So we'll see.
Monkey D. Landon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey guys, still studio hunting? Hope y'all find a new place soon.
We're literally looking at one tomorrow. There's a couple places. Uh, there's one I really thought we had, but probably not. So we're gonna go see this other one tomorrow, and we're excited. It's a good location. We think it's a good price and everything. So here's hoping.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Forget dream scenario. Watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It's Nicolas Cage at his cagiest, and it's crazy comedy gold. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Yeah, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. YouTube. And I've seen it. It's very funny. Actually, I did a Untitled review show on. If you want to know more details.
Connor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Personal favorite Kingdom Hearts game.
Probably two. I think two
Yeah.
had like the best mix of kind of story and action and fun and stuff like that. Out of the ones I played.
Ruben Hall, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who's your favorite customer in Clerks? As someone who's working retail right now, it was very therapeutic to see Randall spit water in one of their faces.
I'm trying to think. What's the one that I was just like? It's it's weird because I look back now and I'm thinking some of these customers are perfectly reasonable and these little snots are just being jerks. But at the same time, I was that little snot, so I can also kind of identify. Yeah, I don't know. Because I just watched it again. I remember thinking that. Okay, in terms of one that got the biggest laugh, I love what do you mean you don't have any ice? I gotta drink this coffee hot. That's pretty funny.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In a Goofy movie, what do you think of the song Nobody Else But You?
Actually, that's kind of my least favorite out of the songs. I always forget how it goes. Every time we get to that point, I'm always like, oh, okay, this song. Okay, whatever. Wait, they're just on a car floating down the river. Okay, fun. but it's neat. It's still fine. It's just my least favorite.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. Okay, taking into account all the media, DuckTales, Goofy Movie, etc., who's the most well-developed and fleshed out of the three? Donald, Goofy, or Mickey?
Probably Goofy, the more I think about it. And he's probably the character, even going back to the beginning, he's probably the character that's been adapted the most into different parts, including nowadays. So yeah, I'd say Goofy.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. So, Heather, do you have a top 5 or even top 3 magical girl animes? Mine are Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, Princess Tutu, Tokyo Mew Mew, and Madoka Magica. I mean, you have my top 3 already there. Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, and Madoka Magica.
Those were such fun names to just hear you say really fast. Princess Tutu, Mew 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 Mew. I like all that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Home Improvement, which main character who isn't a member of the family do you like more? Wilson or Al?
I was hoping it would come down to that because I'm like, well, it's either Wilson or Al. Probably Wilson. I like how chill he is. I do like there's an episode where he finally cracks. I think that's really funny.
Dorothy, thank you for the $20 super chat. What is your favorite Muppet movie? Like Muppets proper, Kermit and Miss Piggy and stuff, and why?
Muppet, no, not Take My Hand. Muppet Caper, I really like. I think it's the most creative. I think on a technical level, it's the most amazing, and it's the most funny. We just really, really laugh hard at that movie. And it has great songs, too.
Caleb, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your opinion on Little Shop of Horrors? For me, it's one of my absolute favorite musicals. Just wish the movie stuck with the original ending.
Yeah, I really like that movie. It's very, very good. I don't know about the ending because I was raised on the the happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know the Broadway show. And then when I saw the original ending, I mean, my mind was blown. I mean, not just from what happens in it, but on a technical level, it's like astonishing. I think I like that ending more, the bummer ending. I think it would. That film is very well known and it's very popular. I think it totally would have hit like a cult status. Like people would do like Rocky Horror Picture Show where they would, show up to screenings and stuff if they had that original ending.
The Wisenator, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you know that fellow YouTube film critic Jim Jisrael also has a cat named Buster? Also, when are you going to change your cat's names?
When they tell me to. Yes, they talk.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Which actress do you want to see play Poison Ivy next in The Batman?
This is one of those things where I'm so actually I'd have to see how old she is now, but I was kind of thinking like, it'd be kind of fun depending on what they do. Maybe Lindsay Lohan would be kind of fun.
Interesting.
Like I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know why that popped in my head, but I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun to see her kind of play the villain there. That'd be kind of cool.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. What was your first movie you remember seeing at a movie theater? What was your initial reaction to that movie?
I asked my brother about it because I was trying to remember. I can't remember the exact one, but it might be like either Pinocchio or like Follow That Bird, something like that. I definitely really remember seeing like the Care Bears 2. I mean that's another one I saw. So yeah, I mean I remember loving it. I mean it's just when you're a little kid, you just get even more sucked into a movie when you have the big screen and the loud sound and everything. So yeah.
Keyblade Master, thank you for the $5 super chat. Two things. MJ Tanner are actually twins. It's just one of those days. Two, I watched Airplane. What's your favorite joke from Airplane?
Um the one you can't do now with the pilot and the little kid. I love Bad Taste, and that's Bad Taste. And okay, I kept hearing they're twins, but then I swear I only hear one voice out of them. So I was a little confused by that.
Mark Murders, thank you for the 500 bits. I got a preview of my V2 puppet on my Twitch and special message I recorded for you.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'll try to check it out.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite Adult Swim show?
Oh man, maybe Home Movies. I'm not even saying that's like the best one, but I
It's
really
a
really
great
like
one.
that show a lot.
Epic Kevster, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you going to see Sonic 3 and did you watch Knuckles yet?
No, I don't know if I'm gonna get around to seeing Knuckles. I'm sure it's fine. I don't have Paramount. I don't have the time either. Of course, I'm gonna see Sonic 3. I saw the first two.
Epic Kevster, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the new Garfield movie?
I didn't see it. I'll probably review it for Nostalgia Critic. I hear it's not that great.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. D23 was something. What are your thoughts on shutting down Muppet Vision 3D in favor of some sort of Marvel thing, I think? Muppets have been mistreated since Jim Henson's passing, so I'm upset.
Um, I get that. But how many people were going there? I mean, at some point you got. I can't imagine a ton were going there. I wouldn't mind seeing them doing a different Muppet attraction. Updating it. Or just something in that vein, but still new. But yeah, it's sad. It's not surprising.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Spider-Man games, what do you think of Norman Osborn? I like who, despite not being a good person, he does have some humanity and how broken he is by the loss of his wife and his desperateness to save his son.
Yeah, I could have used. I was gonna say I could have used a little bit more, but it looks like they're gonna dive more into that in the next game. So yeah, I think he's well done. He's not like my favorite or anything, but they handle him pretty well.
One Man Army, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, will you play Fallout New Vegas on the Twitch channel? It's one of my favorite games of all time and would love to see you play it.
I've never played a Fallout game, so that's another one I'll add to the list. But what we usually do, we've been doing the past couple times, is putting down games that I haven't played, they're big franchises, and kind of putting out there for a vote. So I'll try to see if I can get that on there.
Assel, thank you for the 100 NOK through Super Chat. I was frozen today.
Christ!
Gorilla Steve, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Would you rather see Road to El Dorado live action or Treasure Planet live action?
Probably Treasure Planet. You could probably do more with it.
Christian, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Did you hear Tim Curry's Joker voice and what did you think of it?
It's not bad, but I have to keep in mind I think he was also sick. It does make more sense when we figure out he was going to be the original because he's drawn more like Tim Curry and he's drawn more to match that Tim Curry voice. So it's all right, but again, I don't think that's like what we would have gotten. I think he would have changed it up a little bit.
Zekrom, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, when looking at your video of 5 cliches that should stop, I kind of thought of another one, big battle / big finale that is promised throughout the whole series / movie, but actually ends up being underwhelming when it happens. What do you think of that cliche?
I don't think that's intentional, though. I don't think it's like an active choice. I try to go for ones where it's like it's a trope and they're making the choice for it. The one I forgot to put in there, I was like, is the bitter old person who's been out of the game for years and then comes back for one last hurrah kind of thing. And again, I do still like it, but I'm really on the verge of like just we gotta stop.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Here, Doug, have a cookie.
Oh, thank you.
Dorothy, thank you for the $20 super chat. Ever considered reviewing Spaceballs? It's one of my favorite Mel Brooks films. And also, did you know that Rob Paulson did ADR on that film? He was one of Darth Helmet's henchmen and one of the dinks.
I didn't know about the. That sounds weird. I didn't know about the Dink. But I did recognize him as one of the henchmen. I never put together it was him, but as soon as you said that, I'm like, I know what you're talking about. I've heard him in there. And yeah, I have a plan to possibly do a crossover with somebody on that one, but it's going to be like later down the line.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which sitcom dad do you like more? Tim from Home Improvement or Earl from Dinosaurs?
Probably Tim. I think he's a pretty fun character.
Link McStink, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever heard of the 1993 film Even Cowgirls Get the Blues? It's one of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen, and no one talks about it.
Boy, it is. I haven't seen the whole thing. I forgot about it until you brought it up. Yeah, it's a weird movie. I've never seen all of it, but I've just seen clips, and I'm just like, what is this about? So if anyone hasn't heard about it, just Google it, look it up, and just read the synopsis and see if it makes sense to you. I should sit down and watch the whole thing.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Possible review of Josie and the Pussycats in your future? Tara Reid as Melody. I'm sure that material writes itself.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I have it on the list because I've heard it's not that bad. And a lot of people have asked me to review it, so I'll get to it at some point.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. How do you deal with the feeling of disappointment as your favorite actors age? As more and more of my favorites like Carey and Nicholson retire, it becomes harder to give younger newbies a chance. Any advice for a cinema nerd?
Uh, I don't know. I've never been that afraid of anything getting older. Honestly, I don't know. It's never really bothered me. So when I see it happen to actors, I mean, of course I'll react if somebody's disappear and then they come back. I'll be like, whoa, that person looks older. But it's not like, whoa, my mortality or anything. Like, I guess I feel like anybody does. But I will say this, as someone that's in his 40s now, like somebody says, who would you get to play this or that? My mind is still like in old Hollywood and like the old celebrities. Like, it's hard for me to even think of like who some new celebrities are. So that's a little bit of a challenge. And maybe that ties into what you're talking about.
Talons, thank you for the $5 super chat. To Doug, what was your first ever exposure to the internet that you can still remember?
I think just email, hearing the little, you got mail. And there was something a little exciting about, seeing a little yellow envelope in there. Like, ooh, I got mail. And now it's like, there's a ton of spam and everything. I mean, you get a ton of mail you don't need.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. My last question for the night. With the next big TV program special, Toonami, Fox Kids, Disney Afternoon, will you do Adult Swim like OG shows and animes like FMA, Cowboy Bebop, and Blood Plus?
We like to. We definitely, or I was saying, I definitely want to wait till like the fatigue is gone. It has been, like I said, I feel like I say this every single time, but it really is true. It is getting better and better. It's not gone, but it is really getting better. So it does give me a lot of hope, but it takes like all my energy to do, and energy of others too. So that is the one we are looking at. Probably Adult Swim would make the most sense.
James, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hello, wanted to stop in real quick to tell about a Stephen King miniseries called Golden Years. It is bonkers.
All right. Never even heard of that one. I'll check that out.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. What movie do you wish you've seen in theaters, like when it first came out?
So eventually I did, but Hunchback was one when I saw it at home. And I was just like, oh, I should have seen this on the big screen. Or one Heather was talking about that I don't even think it was that great, but I'm like, man, I wanted to see it on IMAX was Migration. I bet was really good on IMAX.
It was pretty. Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Who was your favorite Python? Mine's Eric Idle.
Man, it's really rough. I can't choose. Maybe John Cleese. He probably gets the most laughs out of everybody.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact about Soul, in 22's Hideout, one of the name tags on her mentor is Joan Ranft, which was one of the main founders of Pixar who passed away in 2005.
Oh, interesting. That's kind of cool. It's a nice little Easter egg.
That sure is. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you watch Disney Plus every day, or do you prefer your physical Disney Blu-rays?
I mean, I don't... Surprisingly, I don't watch Disney every day in one way or another, but I go, but if it's just something I want to put on, it's convenient. I'll do, Disney Plus. But if it's yeah, something I want to see like the extra features on or something, I'll put on like a Blu-ray.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we did it.
Ooh, holy
It's
smokes!
like 30 seconds until 8 o'clock.
Nicely done. Well done.
Holy cow. I'm trying to scroll to look through maybe one or two highlighted, but we may not even have any time. Nintenga says, new comments slash question series I'm gonna try, a film pitch. Oh boy, I should have read this more before I read it out loud. It's fine. An animated superhero thriller where a mom finds out her toddler daughter is actually a badass superhero prodigy, and said toddler daughter decides to train and teach mom to become a superhero herself. What plot point do you think would add a very strange and almost enticing drama to the film?
Well, plot point, I don't know. The angle I would like is if you focus more on the parent. That's not something you usually see. You usually see the, superhero go out and do that. But if you're focusing on the parent, like worrying about it, or supervillains and stuff, that might be kind of interesting.
All right, this will be the last one then. George A., thank you for the $2 super chat. Would you review more action movies from the 80s and 90s?
Maybe. I mean, it's got to be something I have a passion for, and I did grow up with a lot of those. So, yeah, possibly.
Okay, I lied. This will be the last one. Quackers, thank you for the $5 super chat. We are trying to wrap things up here. Hey, Doug, been watching you since probably 2015. Your reviews are awesome.
Oh my God, thank you so much. And thanks for watching for so long.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, well, we are going to wrap it up here, okay? All right. Thank you all so much, as usual, for joining us here today. We super duper appreciate it. On the YouTube side of things, we do have content almost 5 days a week, most of the time, over on Twitch. So come find us on twitch.tv/channelawesome. Twitch will be back tomorrow, Friday, Monday. We'll be here, okay? Come on back. Hang out with us. We always appreciate seeing you guys. We literally could not do this without you. On the Twitch side of things, we are going to go over and raid Miss Tamara Chambers. So come with us on that raid as we say hello to Tamara. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.